What's everybody doing? Let's see, why does it keep going? I'm not sure what this. Oh, I know where it's coming from. Hold on, guys. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. All right, so how's everybody doing today? Hope everybody's doing well. We got a few things I want to talk about today that have come up. The most recent one is I heard about this shooting that just happened in Texas. So let me see here. It says that there was a mass shooting reported at Sutherland Springs Church in Texas. So it's about 35 miles east of San Antonio. And it says basically that somebody walked into this is like what we know right now about what's going on. Is that a man walked into the church about 11:30 a.m. Sunday and opened fire at the crowd of people, and that the church starts their services at 11 a.m. And then it's a developing story as we speak. So I mean that's a very tragic situation. I mean more information will come out as we find more information and we receive it. We will go ahead and pass it along to you guys. So what I wanted to do today for this live, it's a little different than, we're going to try to do things a little bit differently, but there's a few things in the news that I wanted to talk about and discuss. And then also at a particular point, I'm actually going to turn around and put in a call-in number where you guys can go ahead and call in and we could talk about some of these things for a little bit. So we're not going to make this like an incredibly super long live, but I thought we would try something different. It's Sunday, I just wanted to come on here and talk about some of the new stuff, and I figured let's see how the call-in thing works with my little rigged up setup that I'm going to have. Reporting live on Facebook coverage with the scene of the shooting. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna stay tuned to that to see what's going on. But let's see. So one of the things in the news right now is that the FBI has turned over the new Clinton investigation documents to Congress. So finally now they're starting to receive some of the documents because it's come out about how James Comey, how he handled the whole case. And so some of these documents are finally going over to Congress. So we'll see what happens with that. It's about time that some justice is brought to her. I mean, she has what's coming to her. Hopefully it will happen. So at least this is heading in the right direction. At least the information is starting to actually get turned over from the FBI because before they couldn't bury it quick enough. So at least now that things are slowly turned over, we don't know what's being turned over yet, but something is being turned over. So that is something that's a plus in my book. I think it is. And then let's see. One of the other things which I found kind of interesting in the news today is that it says in Venezuela that teenage girls are turning to prostitution to fight starvation. Now, this is what happens when you have socialism, right? This is what they want to bring to this country. This is what people in California and all these liberal cities, this is what they push for is socialism. Bernie Sanders, all those whack jobs. And so now we have, I mean, it's sad. This is sad. I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but it's just kind of like, what's upsetting about this is that this is happening there, and they're trying now to bring that same type of garbage to this country. So we have teenage girls in Venezuela who are now prostituting themselves so that they can get food to feed themselves because the country has pretty much gone completely to crap because of the socialism that is going on in that country. So we all know what happens with socialism. This is the kind of crap that happens. This is a perfect example. And it's unfortunate that this is what's happening. Another thing going on right now, Anthony Weiner. We all remember Anthony Weiner, right? How can we forget him? So the former congressman is going to have to report to federal prison on Monday, and he's 53 years old, and he was sentenced to 21 to 27 months in prison for his sexting the 15-year-old girl. We'll see what happens as far as how long he actually ends up serving for that, and if I don't even know that that's an adequate, punishment. I think that would it have been like any normal person on the street, they probably would have got a much more severe punishment for such a thing, especially with all of the evidence. But that's basically, so now what he's saying though, what he's trying to say, right, is that he has a sickness and that he doesn't have an excuse. And that's a quote from him. I have a sickness, but I do not have an excuse. So he pleaded guilty, because how could you not plead guilty? Because there was all this evidence that came out, you know. I mean, believe me, if there wasn't any evidence and it was just a claim, he would have denied it. I'm almost positive of that. But when you have overwhelming evidence, photos, things, you know, communication back and forth that they found on the laptop that was shared between him and his wife. I don't know if they're still married. Who knows what's going on with them? Uma Abedin. I think it's another fake marriage, kind of like Bill and Hillary. You know, that's a complete fraud of a marriage. It's just, you know, for optics. They're not. They actually don't. I mean, it's not a real marriage. So who knows what's going on with these two. So there's that. So those are kind of like the three stories that are kind of, you know, that stuck out to me right now. There's a lot of stuff going on, but then there's also the mass shooting, which is, like I said, in Texas, and that is something that we are. It's a developing story. More information is coming out every half hour or so. You know, there'll be different updates from different places, and as we get updates, we will go ahead and pass those along to you. So let's see here. Okay, so let's see, guys. Let's see if this works here. I'm going to go ahead and try to, let's see if you guys can see this on the screen now. So there's a number that I just put up on the screen to be able to call in. And so maybe we can, you know, kind of talk about this stuff and see what happens. If you guys see it on the screen, you feel free to call in. I think also, too, that Joe Geneva will be calling in at some point as well. So, you know, go ahead. If you guys want to talk about some of these subjects or whatever, go ahead and give us a ring here. And then also, too, you know, while I'm waiting for that, I want to let you guys know you can help support us at Patriot Media by going to patreon.com/Patriot Media, signing up for $1 a month or whatever it is, and we can go ahead and, that helps us out. So let's see what happens here. Let's see if anybody, move it to the top. It's blurred out, probably because of my shirt, huh? Here, we're going to move it over here, guys. How about this? 1 second. We're going to move it over here. Maybe you guys will be able to see it better if it's over here. How's that? Better? Oh, wait, no. It's probably got to go to the other side because, see, I'm learning as I go here, guys. Give me a second. I got to remember where everything is, and okay, that should be better. Let's see. So now it's up in the top corner, so that should help. So there's that. Color is hard to see. Well, it's red. It's because of the black background, but now it should be up. I moved it to the top right corner, so hopefully you guys should be able to see it. So yeah, anybody who's watching this, because right now we're broadcasting live on YouTube, Periscope, and Facebook. So any of you guys who are currently watching who wants to give a call in, feel free to do so. I'm also trying to take a look at some of these comments. And let's see. Church. Yeah, the church shooting is what is like the breaking story right now. Let me see here. Yeah, so it's basically that's all that I can find about the shooting right now. I'm not finding any more additional information right now, but as it happens, it'll come up. So that's what's going on, guys. I mean, look, unfortunately, with this church shooting, more information will come out. I don't start shooting people, but there's something that comes in mind. So okay, we got somebody calling in here.
Okay. I've sent the caller voicemail. Goodbye.
Okay, I don't know what just happened there, but I tried to answer it and it looked like it hung up. So if you just called, try calling again. I'm not sure what happened. It kind of just bounced you off. If you just called in, it was a, let's see. I'm not sure what happened there. What was the phone number? It was like I don't know. It didn't say. But anyway, yeah. So if you guys want to call in, go ahead and call in. Right now, this is what's going on. Shooting in Southern San Antonio. Yes, call in and get your voice heard. Absolutely. If you guys want to talk about something, give us a ring. I'll be sitting on here doing this for a little while. So let's see. How long am I on here now? We're on here about a little under 20 minutes. So I'll probably be on for maybe about another 10 or so. Somebody just called. Oh, well, if you want to call again. I'm not sure what happened there, why it disconnected. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure this out. How many dead? That number is still changing. I don't know yet, so we'll see what happens. 18 and rising. That's what they're saying. So it's 18 and rising. Let me see here. See, it just hung up again. I don't understand what that was about. It just hung up literally again. I'm not sure why I did that. Anyway, I don't know. Just keep trying, guys. Just keep trying. We're gonna get this to work. Somebody left a voicemail. It looks like. I don't know. I'm having trying to figure this out, guys. Trying to make it work because I don't have it tied into the computer yet, so I'm doing it a little ghetto here. But we're gonna make it work. At least 15 dead. Somebody said 24. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to read some more of these comments. New phone, Josh. Well, it's a different phone, but it's a Google Voice number. So I'm trying to get that to like function properly, and it keeps messing up for some reason. It's going to voicemail. Well, try again. It shouldn't go to voicemail. I'm not sure why that's doing that, but it should. You try again. Maybe you should try returning one of the calls. I don't know. Let me see if I could do what happened here. Let's see. Let's see if this works.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, this is Josh from Patriot Media. Who's this?
This is Scott Harris, Josh.
Hey, Scott. How you doing?
I guess I'm lagging on you or something here because you're a little bit ahead of me right now.
Oh, well, so, okay, if you're watching the live stream, you need to just mute that and not pay attention to it because there is a little bit of a delay. So you just got to pay more attention to...
I got to turn way down now, so...
Yeah, just pay attention to the actual call because that's what is the actual proper timing. The other thing is delayed about, I don't know, 5 seconds or so.
All right, I got you, brother.
So what's going on?
What I'd want to say is if this was you or I or anybody that's on this stream right now that would do nothing half of what Hillary and Obama and these other people have done, we would be underneath the jail right now. I mean that's it. I mean, a DUI, a person goes to jail for that, and it is just not right. Something needs to be done.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's about time that she faces the consequences of all of her actions, but she seems to slip through everything. And hopefully by the FBI actually turning over some of the documents instead of trying to bury them, will hopefully bring some things to light that will, allow some type of prosecution to take place. But we're just going to have to see how it plays out.
You and I both know that no matter what President Trump tries to do, they're going to fight him against it every bit of the way with this. Somebody's going to fight him about it.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Absolutely. Because, well, Hillary and all of her little cohorts are the ones who are funding all of this nonsense that's going on. They're all involved with it. The Refuse Fascism and the Antifa and all. They all got their hands in it one way or another. So they're not going to go down without a fight.
I mean, you see these Antifa and these people going around and they're wanting to scream that shit, but yet they wear a damn Russian flag around their neck.
Right. The hammer and sickle, yeah. Like they even understand what that means.
But they're saying multiple casualties in Texas right now. They're not. I haven't heard anything about how many, but multiple casualties is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I think the numbers will probably within an hour or two. The numbers will probably go up, unfortunately, because the reports will change. And I'm curious to find out who is going to claim responsibility for this. If it's a lone wolf person, if it's something that's involved with, some kind of group, whether it be ISIS or Antifa or who knows what.
Well, it's like with the what was the boy's name? I can't. It's right on top of my head that shot the 9 people in the church.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't recall his name. But that was a little different though, I think, because that was like a white guy going into the black church and shooting black people. Correct? Are we talking about the same thing?
But that's still That's what I was going to say. Once that happened, we never heard about those 9 people, those human beings. We never seen their names, who they was. They put this guy's terrorist face that took this truck and ran over these people. They do. We already know what he looks like. Don't be put. That's what they want. That's what ISIS and these people want. They want to see us talking about it, putting their name up there, putting their face up there. The only reason we're doing that, we're glorifying what they done. They need to show his picture one time and not show it again. Plain simple. His name or nothing.
Well, so people are now saying that people are now saying that ISIS has claimed responsibility for it. So I haven't confirmed that, but that's what people are telling me. Which in my mind, when I heard this, first thing I heard when I heard there was a shooting in a church, that's the first thing that came to mind, was it's some kind of radical Islamic terror attack, because who else would, I mean, unless it's like a fringe lone wolf kind of person who just, loses it and decides to start shooting people. This is like a trademark of ISIS, of what they do overseas, where they kill Christians and they're destroying churches and all these things. So as soon as I heard it, in my mind, I said, you know what, it's probably terrorism. It's probably radical Islam. I don't think that this is just some random person. So we're going to see and find out.
But back to what I was saying about that boy. He killed those 9 people. Okay, they made it more out of that one picture of him holding that Confederate flag.
Yeah,
they made
right.
That's what upsets me the most about all this. And then it was a person of color that went into the other church in Tennessee and shot and killed one person, and we didn't hear nothing about that. Not another word.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. It's sort of like what's going on with the Vegas thing right now, right? I mean, the Vegas thing happened. All these people got killed in a horrific event that took place. And what do? Instead of making a big deal about all of the victims, they come right out the gate with the gun control. And now,
exactly.
And now Vegas just fell off the face of the map. No one's talking about it anymore. It just disappeared. Now they've moved on to something else.
I've seen a video, and I don't hold too much truth in the videos and stuff, if it's put out there. I've seen one where they were showing a helicopter in that Vegas situation.
And I'm not sure if I can find it again. I don't think I scrolled past it, but let me look, see if I can find it real quick. No, I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. I think I updated it or something, went back to home, and I can't find it now.
Yeah, because I haven't seen too much of any of the details of the who it was or anything like that. I'm looking, and I keep checking to see if there's anything that I can find with more details, but I haven't really found anything yet. But anyway, yeah. So just overall, it's just a horrible event, and it would not surprise me if it was somebody that wasn't here legally. It wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Well, Texas has a lot of illegal immigrants that come across the border, and not just in Texas, but they move throughout there from everywhere else. Now, that doesn't mean that they're Hispanic. They could be, who knows? Because we know that's an open border down there. So, if you wanted to come from, Asia, that would be the easiest way to come in.
Right, through the southern border, yeah. Well, we know that, look, that's the thing when I think a lot of people didn't understand when Trump was running and he was talking about the border, he wasn't referring just to Mexicans, and I think that's what a lot of people didn't understand. What he was simply saying is exactly what you're saying now, which is basically that the portion of the southern border is so porous and so easy to come through that anybody who wants to come into this country, whether they're Mexican, Afghani, who knows, Sudanese, whatever, they can easily come through that section of the border, and now they're in the country. So it's not limited to just Mexicans.
The open border is just as serious as this Russian roulette lottery immigration crap, like the Uzbekistan guy that, the terrorist attack in New York. I do not know where our immigration setup people, this has to, I cannot believe that our government is so twisted. When did this stuff happen? We didn't get to vote on this.
Right.
I don't. If we voted on it, I know how I would have voted. Used to, people would be brought in. I'm not talking about like the pilgrims, and so forth. But I mean, there was a period of time in our country when we would bring in people as workers, and this is before I was born. But I mean, they would be Irish, Dutch, they would be Africans, and these people were slaves, basically. But a lot of those people, when their children were born here, their children were citizens. And they eventually, that's how our culture has been established. And then when we went through, freeing slaves and all that for civil rights, I mean, that undid all of the black problem, I thought. I mean, I know we've, still
well, look, the real
problems,
issue with the immigration is it really started in the 60s. This is where the real problem started, which was with Kennedy's immigration bill. And he's the one who basically, with that bill, when it got signed into the office, and this is what we're seeing now, is that when you let in one, you're really not letting in one, you're letting in like 20-something, because they're able to, somehow say, oh, this is a family member, that's a family member. Next thing you know,
yeah.
you're dragging all these people into the country who really don't belong here.
Let's say I wanted to move to, I don't know, wherever, and I applied for citizenship anywhere that I could. Well, let me just give you, for instance, my son knows somebody in Thailand.
Uh-huh.
I cannot go there and apply for citizenship.
Right.
Ever. I mean, why is it that in America so many people think we're just supposed to accept every single body in here? I mean, I don't have a problem accepting refugees that are in a crisis situation, that are being slaughtered or whatever. I don't have a problem.
Well, the truth is I do have an issue with that, because the surrounding countries don't want to take them. So why should we?
Well, I'm not talking about where there's, war-torn countries. I do not consider those people. I mean, I know there's peaceful people in a war situation. That's just like if somebody were to bomb where I live. I mean, some other country would have dropped a bomb on where, my part of the United States. I mean, you would have mass casualties of innocent victims. I mean, we're not an army out here or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I live in a pretty red state, but it'd be like, okay, would our government come down here to where I live and pick us all up that survived and move us somewhere and house us and feed us and whatever until, we could return back to our home like they do other people from other countries? Mm-hmm. You do not see that happen in the United States of America. They do not take care of us. They make us take care of every single body else and them. I mean, it's like we are actually the slaves now, the people that were born here.
Well, it's definitely getting crazy. The immigration
tell
is.
Me all the time, well, you have, you're an immigrant. I didn't immigrate from anywhere. I was born right here. I've never lived in any other state other than the one I live in.
Right. Right. No, I mean, it's definitely out of control right now. There's no question about it. And the immigration is definitely an issue. There's no question about that. Something has to be done, and basically the lottery system has to go, and we need to go to a merit-based system, which is basically what Trump says.
I don't understand why our country doesn't treat us right. I don't understand that. I mean, this whole thing has flipped upside down.
Yeah, I hear you. You're right. And listen, Joy, I appreciate your call. I want to get to another call, and actually I have to call Joe Geneva here. He wanted to come on. Okay. But thank you so much for calling, and you bring up some great points.
All right. Thanks, Josh.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, so let me see if I can get a hold of Joe now here, because I think he said that he also wanted to come, so I'm going to call him here. And we'll see what...
What up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Good. So I'm calling you on the live here, and I thought you're the one who pointed out to me about the shooting. I didn't even I mean, I just was doing other things, and I saw that what you sent me. So what have you found so far? It looks like you've gotten some information.
Yeah, so I got a buddy that actually works down there in Sutherland, Texas. He's just in the jail. He's not on the streets. And he had shot me a text message, dude. He said, go look at the news in Texas. So I started searching, and the first thing that popped up there was shooter walks into a church and, shot a bunch of people. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Things are getting a little crazy. We're seeing these higher death toll shootings nationwide, and they're definitely happening a lot more frequently than what they've even happened in the past. And big shootings that we thought were big at one time, like let's say Columbine, or the Aurora Theater shooting. It seems like somebody's out there that wants to outmatch him, or is crazy enough to carry something out a little bit more insane than the last guy. So that's why I said, the last video I did, I've told people, I mean, we shouldn't have to worry about where we go in this country, but, with the times that we're living in, you really have to watch your six and watch what kind of situations that you put yourself in,
Totally.
And if you do go into a certain situation, are you going to have the tactical advantage if something does happen to defend yourself or other people? And if you answer no to those questions, then I would say don't go to it. That's not the way it should be. But if it could cost you your life, then
I always say that you really have to be aware of your surroundings, because you never know what is I mean, this is a crazy time, and all of the people that first of all, there's a multiple risks here. One is all the people from outside the country who are coming in, and then you have the other risk, which is the mental attack that the media has been doing on people for so long, that now they're turning into these whack jobs, going out and shooting people because of the fact of what they've been told, the propaganda that they've been fed for so many years. And now this is like the culmination of it all, because Trump's trying to turn things around, and so now they're putting it in overdrive, and they're really pumping out the propaganda. And these people who are so deep into the brainwashing that they can't see out, that they believe it. I mean, look at all these people who are attacking senators. I mean, when was the last time you ever heard of this many senators being attacked in such a short period of time? Whether they were shot, beaten with something, whatever. I mean, I don't recall there being this many in such a short period of time. I mean, then again, if I'm wrong, somebody could correct me, but.
Well, they are getting worse, man. I mean, they've been really picking up the past, 5 to 10 years, and they've been progressively getting worse. But here's the situation, man. This is what Soros wants. This is what the people with the capital that are funding all this garbage, this is what they want. They push, a bunch of BS through the media. People that are already sitting on the edge of life, that just needed that little push to either commit suicide or go out and do something insane. They get fed all this crap. And, a lot of those people don't have social lives. So what they do is they'll watch it continually and continually and continually. These people are losing their minds. And this is exactly what people like Soros wants, because this is what's going to undermine what Trump's trying to do for this country. And, he's doing it through just funneling money into all these different media sources and all these different news links and half the crap that you see on Facebook. And, we're going to see more of it, and it's going to get even more frequent than what we're seeing right now. And so that's why, the times that we live in, man, it's time to take stuff serious. And it's time to watch your surroundings, like you had said previously.
Yeah, absolutely. There's also people saying that the gunman is dead after that there was some kind of chase, and that the gunman has been killed from the church shooting. So that's what I'm hearing here from what people are saying. And so again, at Patriot Media, once we find more information, we'll pass it along to you guys out there who's watching. And again, I also want to put out there, guys, if you haven't already, head over to patreon.com/Patriot Media and sign up to help support us here at Patriot Media, so we can continue to grow and do what we do. So, Joe, was there anything else that you've heard about any of those things, or what do you think of this? The Anthony Weiner going to prison on Monday. What do you think of that?
That's where he belongs, is in prison, man. I mean, there's a lot more people associated within the ranks of the political structure that belong in prison too. And unfortunately, a lot of people are covering each other's backs And, I think Trump's trying to do everything that he possibly can do to uncover certain things. I mean, he released those JFK files, that there's stuff in those files that talk about Adolf Hitler never even dying in that bunker that they tried making us believe that he died in. There's a possibility that he got to another country and was there. So, I mean, we're really starting to
actually, there's a whole thing of that. Apparently, he somehow escaped out through France to Argentina or something like that, and then he was
to Colombia.
There's all types of different places. I don't know. He made it to somehow supposedly South America, and then there's some little island off of wherever where supposedly he has stayed. There's been a lot of actually firsthand accounts of people who said that they saw him there. Like people who are now very, old, but there's a lot of people who just don't even want to talk about it. So I don't, if that's what the files say, because there was something I watched a while ago that was actually had to do with this, and they were able to get a hold of some kind of government documents, but at the time they were heavily redacted, so they couldn't really determine what was on them. But now that these files are coming out, I have to go through them a little bit more. But there's a lot of stuff there, and what I also think though, I think that there's stuff that they didn't turn over. That's what I also think.
Well, I've been doing a lot of digging into these files myself.
Yeah, because it was Argentina is where supposedly he ended up.
Argentina was the final destination stop. But I mean, he moved around a few times, to get there, which is just incredible. His nation is basically fallen. The Nazi regime is gone, and when you have money, dude, that's just the way it works. Regardless of if you're a bad person or a good person, you can get out of a lot of stuff, and that's why we've seen the corruption that we've seen in, the political movement. That's why we've seen the corruption in the media and Hollywood and all these people, the NFL. I mean, it's just the same story, different day. And, it really is unfortunate. But, these files being released is actually a good thing, because now people that actually want to do a little reading or do a little research for themselves and not just believe what everybody else says, you can see why the CIA was reluctant to release these types of files. Why? Because there's information that, talks about some pretty crazy stuff that, they were talking about framing some bombing in Miami. I mean, there's a ton of stuff that you can go through there and read.
Well, I think what's going to happen with this, I think what I would like to see happen is all these people who blindly just believe whatever the government tells you start to wake up. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see that happen. Because there's a lot of people who oh, that's what the government said, then that must be the official story. Well, they've been lying to everybody for a long time. I mean, for a long time. I mean, you can go all the way back to Pearl Harbor. Even that. I mean, there's so many things that they have given their official stories on, and their official stories don't match up with the facts. When the facts come out, it just takes a long time for the facts to actually come out.
Yep.
So
yeah, I don't know, man. It really is insane. At this point, this is just more proof to put in the pudding for people to, hey, do your own research. Think independently. Don't let other people do your thinking for you. Don't believe everything that you read or see. You really have to dissect information for yourself. And I mean,
I'm getting this information about the Fresno shooting, and I'm trying to confirm if it's with Fresno, California, which I believe it was, but I'm trying to confirm that information. So anyway, thanks for coming on, brother. Appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys have a good one.
All right, man. Take it easy. Bye.
Bye.
So that's what's going on, guys. Something about a shooting in Fresno now. If anyone has any more information or something that they've seen about that, you want to go ahead and give a call in. 772-405-7616 is the number. You can call in and we can go ahead and talk about that. Again, the number, guys, if you can't see it, is in apparently I'm being told, yes, it is in California. So it's in Fresno, California, where this shooting was. So if you cannot read the number, it's up in the top right-hand corner. The number is 772-405-7616. So if somebody wants to type that into the comments, and whatever you're watching this on right now, YouTube, Periscope, Facebook, anybody, feel free to call in if you want to talk about this. Let's see. 2 shot, 1 fatally in Fresno, CA at another church. Right. So this is another church shooting, guys. So there's two church shootings today. And who's dead in Fresno? I'm not sure who, but it says right now one person that from all the stuff I'm getting, it says that there was one person killed in Fresno as we speak right now from the shooting there. So that's what's going on there. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any more information right now except for what's being told to me. Again, guys, I'll take one more call here before I jump off. So if you want to give a ring in, 772-405-7616 is the number. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Everyone's typing it in now. Yeah, so if you guys want to give a ring in, that's the number you call. There's a little bit of a delay, so I'm going to wait a little bit before I decide to jump off. But I wanted to jump on here, kind of talk about some of these things. You guys can take a look at some of these stories yourself. I did post a couple. Did I post the articles on the page? I don't think I did. But there's a lot of information out there. I might post a couple of those links. I'm going to try to find more stuff about these shootings and pass it along to you guys so you guys can see that. Second shooting in California. I'm not sure. Okay. Shooting was a church in Texas. Yes, James, that's true. But there was a second shooting in Fresno, California. That's what we're talking about right now. Let's see who's calling here.
Jim from Florida.
Hello, this is Josh. You're on with Patriot Media. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right.
So who's on the line here? Jim?
Yes, sir.
So how are you?
What's that now?
How are you? What's on your mind?
I'm okay. Is this the show?
This is.
Okay, man. Hey, I was just, I don't need to go live, but I've been trying to call. I would love to hear Josh's take on what he really believes happened in Vegas. You know, it's been so long, and we know less now than we did the day of.
Yeah.
I have my opinions, but I'd love to hear his.
Well, so this is Josh, by the way. This is me talking to you. My opinion is basically this. From the information that I've found, and there's always more that's come out, but from my understanding is that this guy was a gun runner, and he was running gun. What's that? Yeah, he was running guns. Actually, I believe it was for some government agency to radical Muslims, and somehow, from my understanding, is that his cover became compromised, and then all of a sudden this Vegas thing happened. The guy ended up dead, and like that's the end of the story. So I mean, I personally don't
exactly. I'm sorry to interrupt you. That's exactly what I think. It was a Fast and Furious gone bad, but not with the Mexicans this time. With ISIS. Somehow they got tipped off or something. They took advantage of the situation at hand. They had, like 22 damn guns.
I think it was like 24 or 27, actually.
Yeah. And then they had an escape route already planned because, you know, come on, common sense. Who owns the motels and all that?
Right, yeah. I mean, there's so...
I guarantee it, that Mexican security guard that was on, what was it, Ellen DeGeneres?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, that is not the same guy. They did a facial on him, a facial recognition.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing lines up.
There's nothing about the story at all that they're telling that lines up. That's the thing. Everything that they're telling is just a crock of crap. And people are believing it. But all the information I've come across shows that this guy, so the reason why he had a Muslim name or whatever you want to call it is because of, I don't know if he was actually Muslim or if it was just because he was running guns for the government to these groups. So I'm not sure, like I said, that's my take on it. If you're asking, that's what I think what happened. I think I personally believe that the government has a hand in this because nothing adds up. And most of the time when nothing adds up, the government has a part.
I don't think Trump does, but I do think either the CIA, FBI, maybe possibly both.
Yeah, more than likely it's probably the CIA.
Security.
It's probably the CIA if it had to be any of them because they're one of the most corrupt organizations.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, man. Who is this now?
This is Josh. You're talking to Josh.
Oh, I am talking to Josh. Oh, okay. I thought I was talking to a message. I mean, a guy just answering the phone.
No, this is Josh. You're on the show right now. We were just talking on the show.
All right, man. Hey, we're on the exact same page, man, and I appreciate the hell out of Patriot movement, and y'all's news is always right on, right on top. Right
Thank
on
you.
the head.
Well, thanks so much for listening and watching us and sharing our stuff. We really appreciate it.
And God bless everyone that's going through this today. I mean, it's ugly, and we really have to rethink and we're going to have to do something as citizens, we the people, because our government is not doing it. I'm sorry, and that's scary.
It's getting to the point.
I'm not scared, but it's scary.
Well, what's scary is that you have people who are aware to what's going on, like we are, and then you have people who are unaware, and they're trying to they're pitting these people against each other on purpose, and it's going to be ugly. I think.
Throw Antifa in there.
Oh yeah, Antifa. That's another disaster. But listen, Jim, thanks a lot for calling in, man. I appreciate it.
I don't want to take up too much time. All right,
it's all good.
We'll keep watching.
Yeah, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thanks for all your patriotism.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, man. Bye-bye.
So there you go, guys. So this is our first time doing some of these call-ins. It's really cool to hear from some of you guys. I really like this, actually. It's cool to hear what you all have to say and, having some discussion. I find it's fun. I like it. I think it's great. I like to hear because a lot of times when you do what I'm doing over here and what a lot of us are doing, like you see pictures and you see names and you see like what people are posting. And I've talked to some of the people, like off Facebook, but it's cool to see